With exponential advances in communications technology occurring over the last couple decades, there are more ways to advance your education than ever before. Associate Dean of the University of Wyoming's Outreach School, Reed Scull, talks about the changes with our Justin Flaskerud.
In the last 10 years, what kind of technology trends have you seen in education?
The biggest trend is I've seen more and different types of technology, and a lot of it mixed together with each other. I think web conferencing has developed quite a bit, and the kinds of technologies that deliver to people video content have been very important because in education it's really helpful if an instructor and students can develop relationships with each other and trust and rapport, and video has a way of helping that trust and rapport process along and making the educational experience better.
So as technology has increased in education, how has it helped the state of Wyoming and the people in Wyoming get educated?
Well, it's helped a lot. There are not many states like Wyoming. I think, Alaska, Hawaii, Montana, we all have something in common, and that's beautiful open spaces, but it also creates a lot of geographic isolation. And to bridge that geography, we need some type of technology. And the University of Wyoming has been a leader, I think, in the developing technologies that bridge those distances and making that technology accessible to the people.
If a person was to go back to school in Wyoming here or anywhere, what kind of pitfalls should they look for and sign up for an online university program or just a distance program? What kind of pitfalls should they look for?
Well, higher education has changed a lot since I started in the distance ed field about 20 years ago. There are many, many more for-profit institutions and institutions that were not well known to people across the country. And so it's really important that students be very wise consumers and check the institutions they're interested in out. And my own personal rule of thumb is that if there is a bricks and mortar campus that's already established, that's probably a good indicator that the institution will be around for some time and that they're fairly reputable. But there are ways of checking as well, and it's just a tiny minority of institutions probably that you really need to check on. But it's good to check on the basic quality factors and accreditation and so forth.
So what type of student should you be if you were going to get into this kind of distance education?
That's a really good question, and I think when you get into distance education, there's really an opportunity and a challenge to students to work independently, not only sometimes inside of class time, but outside of class time. And so you have to be a real good time manager. You have to be very goal-oriented and focused. And many of the characteristics that we associate with adult, non-traditional learners and the advantages that they bring to learning are qualities that you have to be successful in learning at a distance.
As we see across the state, Wyoming's a big energy state, and it's kind of starting to plateau, and coal's kind of taking a big hit with the EPA, and a lot of people may be leaving these fields. What can they expect if they were to go back and get more education?
Well, I think, I could speak to Wyoming certainly, and I think if they want to go back to school and get a degree in Wyoming, there are a lot of opportunities for them, and we have a very good system of technology and people that is spread across the state of Wyoming, so that if you live in Gillette, there's a regional center that you can go to and take classes, or Evanston, or Rock Springs, Torrington, Douglas, you name it, all over the state. So there's a lot of accessibility, and then there are a lot of choices.
What are some of the popular degrees?
Yeah, I think the most popular degrees are in the healthcare area. It's an expanding sector of our economy. Everybody's spending more and more money on healthcare, so there's a need for qualified professionals, and the School of Nursing offers several degrees from the bachelor's all the way through the doctorate in nursing, and in the fall of 2016 we're going to have a master's degree in health services administration that's pretty much supported by the School of Pharmacy, and we believe that that is going to tap into the interests of people seeking employment in that sector.
Well, as the future is upon us,
Yes.
what kind of degree programs do you see in the future, and technology taken a part of? I know a lot of people are look at YouTube programs, or they can stream video of their classes. Where's the future going from there?
Yeah, I think the future may be that degrees will still be important, but we probably will need to move beyond degrees and offer programs like that are packaged in small bits. Learning badges and nano certificates, very small learning opportunities where you put together a course or two will become increasingly popular, because I think people also are transitioning from job to job much more so than they did when I started out. And so, we have to be cognizant of that trend and help people fit education into their lives.
Thank you very much for joining us on the Wyoming Signatures. You've been
Thank
very
you.
informative.
Well, thank you, Justin. It's a pleasure.